Right now at 5, a bill to enhance sentencing for accessory to murder makes it through the Oklahoma House.
And we've got another pretty decent day ahead of us. We've got some rocky weather on the way as we head into Friday. We'll look at the forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Carthage schools want to add funding to an arts program, but some parents oppose it.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now Thursday. It is March the 13th. Yes, it is. It's Thursday. Okay, because see, and this is why you can't trust everything you see on the internet, because I just saw a post earlier like everything going on this week, and they're like, and it's a week with a Friday the 13th, so it threw me for a second.
Okay.
See, you can't trust everything you see on the internet, all right? There is no Friday the 13th this week. It's close, though. It's close. Yes. But not quite. But we had a pretty nice day out there. Wasn't bad yesterday either.
Nice.
But tomorrow is really going to start to change. And we'll go over tomorrow with you a little later. And, of course, don't forget we have that lunar eclipse. We'll talk about that, too. That's tonight, a little less than 24 hours from now. But we got to get through today first. And it's going to be a very nice day, starting with a live look downtown Pittsburgh. So far, so good this morning. Skies got some clouds here and there, but for the most part, we're looking at clear skies, and that is how our day will be today with clear skies. MoDOT camera 20th in range line. Also clear skies, and for the time being, mostly clear roadways. And we'll go over these in detail with you, but we have a fire weather watch in the northern half of our area and red flag warnings into the southern half through tomorrow evening. We also have a high wind watch across the entire area that runs through Friday evening as well, because it is going to get very windy tomorrow. Not today, thankfully, but tomorrow. By noon, we're already cruising right along into the upper 60s, low 70s. Another very warm day, temperatures well above average. And again, another day for at least some of us where we could get somewhat close to setting or breaking some records out there. As we head into the evening, winds will begin to increase tonight, and our temperatures tonight are going to be very mild as well. Right now, though, it's not bad. It's 46 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, we're looking like this. We've got warmer air off to the south and east, so we've got some low mid-50s, and you go up to the north and west, and we get into the mid-40s to start the day. But again, still above normal for this time of year. Kids getting on the bus today, that's not going to be bad. Low to mid 50s. Winds are expected to be calm. Skies will be clear. Still clear skies later, about 80 when that bus brings them home. South winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. And that's where our breeze will be through the majority of today, about 5 to 10 out of the south. Clear skies and temperatures right about 80. So some upper 70s and some low 80s out there. Again, tomorrow it will still be above normal, but not nearly this warm. It's going to be very windy. And we've got those thunderstorm chances we want to talk about, plus the lunar eclipse, as I mentioned. We'll go over all of that with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. Well, firefighters rescued a worker trapped in a stalled cargo elevator at the Blue Buffalo in Joplin. Crews from stations 5 and 7 used ropes and rigging to safely remove the individual through the elevator shaft to the 3rd floor. The worker was not injured. Firefighters say training and teamwork made the rescue a success. And don't blink. That was a car flying through a backyard in the Osceola neighborhood in Webb City. Now, the Webb City Fire Department is asking the public for help in identifying the gray Toyota. Security video shows the car speeding through a wooded backyard, narrowly missing a resident before fleeing the scene. Authorities say the vehicle has heavy driver's side damage, and if you recognize it, contact the Webb City Police. And authorities are investigating after a man was found dead in Cherokee County. The Sheriff's Office in Baxter Springs EMS responded to Southeast Star Road and Highway 69 after a call reported finding the man in a wooded area near there yesterday. The sheriff says they found him near a former semi-truck inspection parking lot. Now, they didn't find any evidence of foul play and are withholding the man's name until they can notify his next of kin. An autopsy will be conducted. And Laura and Ashley's Law passes the Oklahoma House of Representatives. 25 years ago, two 16-year-old girls went missing from Welch, Oklahoma. Now, it's a cold case that's outlived two of the three suspects and is now making waves in the Oklahoma legislature. Yesterday, Representative Steve Bayshore presented Laura and Ashley's law to the full House of Representatives. House Bill 1001 would require individuals convicted of accessory to murder to serve at least 85% of their sentence. Now, the legislation addresses the reduced prison sentence of Ronnie Busick, who in 2020 was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but because of good behavior and time credited while in county jail, Busick was released after just 3 years in prison, back into the area where he committed his crimes and where family members of the victims still live. Laura Bible's mother, Lorraine, was in attendance yesterday at the Capitol. Now, she's been a part of the investigation since day one and still hopes to one day find the bodies of both her daughter and Ashley Freeman.
And she is on a mission, and she's still looking for her daughter, and she's not going to quit until she does. And the least I can do is to try to help her in some way and to give her some satisfaction and some closure at some point.
Laura and Ashley's law passed the House on a vote of 76-11. It now moves to the Senate. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, the Seneca Area Fire Protection District is asking voters to approve a tax increase on April 8th. Now, it would be the first tax rate increase for the district since it was created in 1988. Now, if passed, the increase would nearly double the tax rate to roughly 53 cents per $100 of assessed property valuation. Fire district staff say the needs of the community have grown over the years and an increase to their yearly budget if necessary to keep their volunteer firefighters safe on calls.
Just looking at today's fires, they're growing 12 times as fast as what they were when we started the district. And so our need to respond quicker with better equipment is today more dire than ever before.
Now, this Saturday, the fire district is hosting an open house for the community where the public can ask questions about the tax increase. And Carthage voters have some big decisions to vote on affecting the Carthage School District. One initiative is an operating levy A tax increase meant to give teachers a pay hike. The superintendent of Carthage Schools says Carthage has the lowest starting teacher salary of any school in the Ozark Conference, leading to a difficult time recruiting teachers. The operating levy is a 55-cent tax increase, bringing it from $3.05 to $3.60. The second issue on the ballot is a bond that would go toward building an auditorium for performing arts, including choir, theater, and band students. Now, it'll also include a tornado safety shelter. The superintendent of Carthage Schools says their current auditorium is small and doesn't have much capacity. The bond would not increase taxes.
Vital to be able to attract good teachers and to also retain those teachers. On the opposite side, I think the biggest complaint is just that they don't want to see taxes increase. We understand that. We wouldn't be asking if we didn't feel it was necessary.
Early voting has started and the election is on April 8th. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Missouri Southern Softball hosts Maryville for a doubleheader. We'll have the details. Plus, Niantic sells Pokemon Go and other games to a Saudi-backed company. And we have a warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
It's state tournament time for high school basketball in Kansas. A handful of our local teams were in action yesterday. We're going to start with Colgan boys basketball. Unfortunately, the Panther season came to a close yesterday afternoon. They fall in the quarterfinals 58-25 to Mound Ridge. who's the number 1 seed, defending state champ, and undefeated on the year. Colgan ends the season with a record of 13-11. Moving to Class 1A Division I, the girls from Colony Crest also fall to an undefeated 1 seed. Little River in the quarterfinals over in Dodge City, 76-27, the final score. Now to the girls' Class 3A state tournament. Neodesha also came up short yesterday afternoon. The Lady Streaks fall to 2 seed Halstead, 50-33. They finished the season with a record of 18-4. And last night, Girard girls basketball also came up short in the 3A tournament in Hutchinson. Lady Trojans fall to defending state champion Silver Lake 56-45. They finished the year with just 3 losses, 2 of those against the Eagles. Missouri Southern softball has played just 2 home games so far this season, but over the next couple of weeks, the Lions play 12 consecutive games, all in Joplin. Lions get that homestand started with a couple of victories yesterday afternoon. They take down Maryville 8-0 in the first end of a doubleheader. Kiki Pickens gets the win in the circle for that one. Then Southern wins 4-3 in the second contest. We have highlights from both ends of the doubleheader on our website at koamnewsnow.com/sports. Now over to Southern baseball. They take on Drury. We're going to start in the 4th, tied 2-2. Drew Townsend ropes one into center field. That falls down, and he's got a stand-up double, but the Lions can't capitalize on the 2-out hit. In the 5th, Southern down 3-2, and Braden Lukart starts the inning off with a single to right field, and then Jacob Phillip lays down a perfect bunt to not only advance the runner, but he's safe as well. A little later in the frame, we got runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs, and Tragan Parker grounds out to the second baseman. The Lions just couldn't get their bats going with men in scoring position. Now Drury's Gabe Russell up to bat in the 6th with 2 men on, and he crushes this pitch to deep right and gone. The 3-run homer makes it 6-2 Panthers. Lions lose 7-4 and drop to 12-8 on the season. They'll welcome Arkansas Fort Smith on Friday for a 3-game series. Still to come, a new study finds another possible cause of fatigue felt by many menopausal women. Plus, we got some very windy days ahead of a windy day ahead of us. We have that lunar eclipse. We have some thunderstorm chances. We'll go over all of that when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 on this Thursday morning. Of course, we have that total lunar eclipse that is going to happen tonight. So just a reminder, here's the timeline as the partial eclipse begins just after midnight. The total eclipse about 1:26, reaching the maximum just before 2 a.m. By 2:30, the total eclipse ends, and the partial eclipse will begin to come to a close just before 4 a.m. Tomorrow morning. So this is tonight after midnight. So if you stay up late by default, or perhaps you're an early riser like some of us, you'll have an opportunity to see it. Now, we could have a few clouds tonight, but it should not really interfere with your ability to view the eclipse. Now, we do have a high wind watch across the entire area through tomorrow evening. Very likely most of it, if not all of it, will be upgraded to a high wind warning. On top of that, of course, with the winds and the dry conditions, we have a fire weather watch in the northern half of our area and red flag warnings down south through tomorrow evening as well. We may see these red flag warnings expanded. And the reason for that is it is going to be very windy tomorrow. We're talking dangerous wind and potentially damaging wind gusts. Today, not bad. Sunny skies, temperatures very warm. Some of us, again, getting close to record highs out there, and will be pretty decent. Now, late this evening, so if you are going to see the eclipse, a couple of things to note. One, the winds are going to start to increase overnight. They're going to start gusting up to 25. Two, we're looking at lows that will be very mild. So if you're going out, it should be pretty decent to view the eclipse. Now, Friday, we start with those wind gusts, 20, 30 miles an hour. But through the morning, they'll begin to escalate. And now we're talking wind gusts by noon and heading into the afternoon tomorrow, pushing 60 miles an hour across the area. And some data suggests that we could even see isolated gusts to 70. So we're talking dangerous and potentially damaging wind gusts that could bring down power lines, tree limbs, and, of course, high-profile vehicles, even low-profile vehicles. You know, you get caught and a 60, 70 mile an hour wind gust, any vehicle is going to be impacted. So maybe if you're planning on heading out this weekend, you might want to wait and leave early Saturday morning instead of trying to take the RV or the trailer, whatever you may have, out in these winds. Now, we go into the afternoon, clouds increase, and you see these little green splotches out here. We have, again, a very significant severe weather outbreak expected to our east tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be right on the edge of that, right as it begins. And it will begin in our eastern counties. So while you see most of us are dry on the Missouri side, mainly east of I-49, we could get a few of those showers and storms as they're just getting started. And that could lead to some of them being strong, possibly severe. So we do have a low to elevated risk just barely clipping us. And again, what we do see is going to be out of here pretty quickly tomorrow. But when they fire up, they could get pretty nasty pretty quick because, again, to our east, unfortunately, a significant severe weather outbreak expected, and it's a multi-day event. And this is just a reminder, this is on our front porch, okay? This is a great reminder. Now is the time to make sure you have your severe weather plans in place because we're starting the severe weather season with a multi-day significant outbreak. Okay, and I'm not saying we're going to get anything like that down the road, but it's just kind of a sign. We're getting into severe weather season. We need to be prepared. Now is the time to make sure you have your plans in place. That way you're not scrambling at the last minute when we do eventually get some of our own nasty weather this season. Temperatures this morning, 40s and 50s. So again, cool, but still above average for us. We'll be starting low to mid 50s, near 70 by 11 o'clock this morning. That's ahead of our highs today, going right about 80, so some upper 70s, low 80s. Be again a little cooler tomorrow, mid 70s, but still above normal. Very windy. We're not messing around with these wind gusts. Thunderstorms aside, 60, 70 mile an hour wind gusts are serious. You need to take that seriously. You need to make sure you're prepared for that as well and prepared for the possibility of some power outages. Still breezy on Saturday, not as breezy though, maybe a few isolated showers. We're seasonably cool into the weekend. We warm back up Monday and Tuesday. Could see a few pop-up storms on Tuesday, and then not too bad for the second half of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. A new study has found a link between fatigue and abnormal bleeding for women transitioning to menopause. About 33% of premenopausal and perimenopausal women experience heavy or prolonged bleeding, and those who have experienced 3 or more episodes of it within a 6-month period are more likely to feel fatigued. And that's according to a report published Wednesday in the journal Menopause. The study found women who experienced at least 3 episodes of heavy menstrual bleeding in the prior 6 months were 62% more likely to feel tired. They were also 44% more likely to feel worn out. Well, the Veterans Affairs Administration in Phoenix, Arizona has an interesting solution for serving its population. It can be hard for some veterans to get out to the hospital, so care comes to them. Cameron Palome has the story.
Outside a crucial nonprofit serving Valley veterans, a bus rolls up not for a ride, but for relief.
Wound tape, so we have that.
Inside, it's not about transportation, but a state-of-the-art medical clinic on wheels.
I really care for our homeless veterans. I want them to get the care they deserve because I ordered you that MRI for your head as well.
Phoenix VA nurse practitioner Isabel Kozak and her team arrive here at US Vets every Tuesday morning, providing a wide range of services to those restarting their lives inside this emergency shelter.
I think the promise of the VA is to come to the veteran and give them the care where they need it. So that's exactly what we're doing.
For veterans like Daryl, utilizing the services at US Vets to get back on his feet, it starts with his health care.
I've been here for about 8 months, and if it wasn't for them, I'll be out on the street.
Here he has shelter, he has support, and he has Isabel, monitoring his blood pressure and helping him get the hip surgery he needs to take his next step forward.
If you're not taking care of this and this program doesn't even matter.
US Vets Program Manager Gerard Cox says veterans have lined up for this mobile clinic since its launch last year. Its mission, closing the distance for veterans who often lack transportation.
That bus has been a lifesaver to our veterans been here.
They come to you, they check you out, they're very honest with you.
It's actually a godsend.
Hello.
The mobile unit performs wound care, vaccinations, mental health support, and even brings along physical therapists, already delivering care to more than 1,000 veterans and stops across the valley.
So ER admissions are down, going to the hospital has gone down, because we are here to take care of their problems.
And for those who once put everything on the line for our country, this mobile clinic is making sure none are left behind back home. I'm ABC 15's Cameron Poland, and that's Uplifting Arizona.
Okay, fantastic. Come on.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got another really nice day ahead of us. We got that lunar eclipse tonight, and we're watching the gusty winds tomorrow. Look at your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, scammers online pose as Liberty Utilities to prey on victims.
And we've got a pretty fantastic Thursday lined up for us, warm and sunny. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, students and businesses head to the campus of MSSU for the annual Spring Career Fair.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Thursday, March the 13th. There's no Friday the 13th.
No.
It's not happening this time. Sorry. Like I said, I saw it on social media. That's why I really was thrown by the day, because it was one of the last things I saw yesterday. I don't spend a lot of time on social media. It was one of the last things I saw. They're like, oh, there's a lunar eclipse and a full moon and high tide and all. I don't know what else they were going on. And it's a Friday the 13th. No, it's not. It is not. Okay.
Thursday the 13th.
It is Thursday. Yes, tomorrow's
nothing spooky
Friday
about
the 14th. There's nothing spooky about Friday the 14th either.
No.
But it is going to be very windy tomorrow, and we'll talk about that with you here in just a moment. But first, we're going to begin with a live look downtown Pittsburgh, and it looks fantastic. The skies are clear. The winds are calm, which is not going to be the case about 24 hours from now. But at least for right now, we have a fairly nice day lined up for us. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking back to the north. It's also looking pretty decent as well. We've got, again, just a great day lined up. Now, we'll go over these again with you later, but we have fire weather watches in the northern part of our area, red flag warnings in the southern half through tomorrow evening. We also have a high wind watch at this point for the entire region, but I'm sure that this will be upgraded, if not this morning, then probably as we head into the noon news today. On for today, though, again, we'll have a south breeze about 5 to 10. Skies will be clear, temperatures very warm, pushing near records, and then late tonight, winds begin to increase ahead of the big increases we're expecting tomorrow. We're sitting at 46 in Joplin and around the region. We got a low pressure almost right on top of us, so we do have some cooler temperatures where we've got the northerly breeze, or at least a light northerly breeze into the 40s, and on the other side of it we got a southerly breeze. We're a little warmer into the low 50s, but still above normal and a pretty mild start for us. We're going to be about 54 when the bus picks the kids up. Winds should be calm. Skies will be clear. Skies will be clear later. About 80. South winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, 80. All right, I'm telling you, this weather that we've had this week is a lot more like early May. All right, today highs about 80, so some upper 70s, low 80s out there. Sunny, warm, and a nice southerly breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now tomorrow, that breeze will not be friendly at all. It will actually potentially be damaging wind gusts tomorrow. We have some thunderstorms, and of course we have that lunar eclipse tonight, and we'll go over all that with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Neosho Police Department is warning residents about a new internet billing scam. The department released information about how a resident fell victim to a suspect posing as a Liberty Utilities bill collector over the phone. Now, the scammer provided the victim with 2 barcodes and instructed them to make a payment at Walmart. Now, Walmart does not accept barcodes as a legitimate payment method. However, when the victim contacted Liberty to verify the payment, they learned they'd been a victim of fraud.
In this case, like I said, the guy received a phone call and was convinced that he had an overdue bill because he was behind on his bill. He knew that, so it seemed more legitimate to him. So he went ahead and processed it.
Online, some of our viewers have said that they or their business had interactions with scammers claiming to be Liberty. Liberty released information on how consumers can make sure they stay safe before falling victim to a scam. You can find that information on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. The Carthage, Missouri Chamber of Commerce held a luncheon entitled Empowering Women in Business yesterday. The event was held at the Leggett & Platt building in Carthage and brought together local leaders and entrepreneurs. Author and power coach Anita Brooks led the discussion, emphasizing the importance of spiritual and emotional strength in navigating the world of business.
I want to help increase the income. I want to help prime the profits, and I want to strengthen the sustainability of American businesses because I want American businesses to be strong.
Brooks talked about some of the biggest regrets people have before they die, and she says one of the biggest ones is not finishing all their goals before they go. Well, Missouri Southern State University was a hot spot for future careers yesterday. Now, they held their annual spring career fair with more than 100 companies attending. Students explored careers and graduate school opportunities from networking to turning in resumes. MSSU will also offer students a chance to search for an internship with an expo this fall.
We have employers from a wide variety of organizations from all over the four-state community, even up to Kansas City, St. Louis, Tulsa, Bentonville, and everywhere in between.
MSSU will also offer students a chance to search for an internship with an expo this fall. Well, artists of all ages and abilities gathered at Pittsburg State University yesterday for the 5th annual Artist Trading Card event. The event, hosted by Kappa Pi and the Art Honorary Society, featured a display of trading cards turned into works of art. Creators had the opportunity to swap cards with others, encouraging a community celebration of creativity.
It's kind of fast and furious because everyone's really excited when you get here, and then it's like, I better trade my cards fast or else, maybe the selection won't be as strong. So I would say it kind of wrapped up in an hour.
The event, held in Porter Hall Galleries, provided a platform for local artists to connect and share their artwork. And the city of Pittsburgh collaborated with a local artist and Pittsburgh Beautiful for a new mural. Now, it's located at the Four Oaks RV Park's restroom. The artist is Jenna Spencer. Her piece outlines the state of Kansas with a color scheme representing Pittsburgh State University. Now, she completed it yesterday.
Having people who don't normally see art have that opportunity to think about it, to enjoy it. A lot of people like to take photos with them. Just like I said, it gives a sense of art to this community as well. So,
Explore Crawford County now plans to put a QR code sign that will lead folks to places to visit, eat, and shop. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Pakistani forces battle to free 300 people that were taken hostage after separatist militants hijacked a train. Plus, President Trump urges Russia to accept Ukraine's ceasefire deal. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch, a mobile game known for collecting them all on the go, is getting a new owner. Mobile gaming company Niantic says it's selling Pokemon Go and its other games to Saudi-backed company Scopely for $3.5 billion. Scopely's subsidiary Savvy Games Group says Pokemon Go earned $8 billion since it was launched in 2016. Scopely says the deal is one of the largest made by a private company in the last 10 years. Meanwhile, Niantic says it plans to focus on geospatial artificial intelligence with a new company, Niantic Spatial, once the deal with Scopely is complete sometime this year. And Pakistani security forces are working to free over 300 people taken hostage by separatist militants. The security forces exchanged gunfire Wednesday as they worked to free the hostages from a train in the country's rugged southwest region. Now, a militant group had bombed a rail line, halting the engine and its 9 cars before taking the passengers hostage on Tuesday. They are wearing vests loaded with explosives, and a security source says over 190 hostages of the 450 have been freed, and 30 militants have been killed. Black Liberation Army Group has claimed responsibility for the attack, saying it's open to negotiations on swapping prisoners. Pakistan's government has yet to respond to the offer. And the Trump administration continues pushing Russia to accept a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine. President Trump warning Moscow could face financial troubles if it continues the war. Christina Coleman has the story.
U.S. intelligence sharing and arms deliveries resume in Ukraine one day after the Trump administration lifted a pause on military aid.
There is a lot of work to do now to save the positions we have now.
It comes as heavy fighting continues in Russia's Kursk region, where Russian troops are reportedly close to driving out Ukrainian forces. Russian President Vladimir Putin visited the area Wednesday to rally troops. This as the White House continues pressuring Moscow to accept a 30-day ceasefire agreement.
We have to see. It's up to Russia now.
During an Oval Office address with Ireland's Prime Minister, President Trump once again suggested the possibility of new sanctions against Russia if it continues the war in Ukraine.
But in a financial sense, yeah, we could do things very bad for Russia. It would be devastating for Russia, but I don't want to do that because I want to see peace.
Russia, however, says it won't make any decisions until it gets, quote, detailed information from diplomatic channels. While Ukraine has consented to the proposal, there's been no word on land concessions. The White House says talks are still ongoing.
Any good deal, both sides are going to be a little bit happy about some things and maybe unhappy about others, but that's how you negotiate a good deal.
Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff is now heading to Moscow for direct talks with Russia. The White House has not said if the visit will include a face-to-face meeting with Putin.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:45 now on this Thursday morning, and tonight, just after midnight, we have our total lunar eclipse. So I will step out of the way. Reminder of the timeline: at 12:09, the partial eclipse begins. By 1:26, the total eclipse gets started with the maximum at 1:58 in the morning. Total eclipse ends at 2:31, and by 3:47 tomorrow morning, it will all come to an end. So if you're up late or up early, however it may go for you, take an opportunity. A few clouds tonight shouldn't really obscure your view of the eclipse. If for any reason you miss it, next one will be March 3rd of next year. Now on to what we're expecting, because boy, it is going to be wild in the next 24 hours or so. We have high wind watches across the entire area through tomorrow evening. Very likely this will be upgraded to high wind warnings, maybe some wind advisories. We'll have to see exactly how that goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have warnings and or the advisories by the noon show today. Same here. We have fire weather watches for the northern portion of our area. Some of these will very likely become red flag warnings. We already have red flag warnings in the southern parts of our area through Friday evening as well. For today, we're looking great. We've got clear skies, we've got a light south breeze, and we have temperatures very warm, potentially up there near record levels again as we head into the 80s across the area, at least for most of us, low 80s out there. So a very warm day indeed. Now tonight, if you are watching the eclipse, a couple of things. One, the winds will start to increase late this evening, gusting out of the south 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. The temperature is very mild, upper 50s, low 60s overnight tonight as well. So great viewing weather. We start Friday clear. Clouds will start to increase as we head into the afternoon, and our temperatures will not be nearly as warm, but they'll still be above normal out there. The thing is the wind. So the high wind watches, those red flag warnings, what are they all for? Because we're looking at wind gusts on average anywhere from 50 to 60 miles an hour across the region, and some data suggests we could see some occasional gusts to 70. So we're talking damaging wind gusts and dangerous for those who are driving, especially high-profile vehicles. So again, if you're heading out to the lake this weekend, or if you're heading out of town, you're taking the RV, a big trailer, might want to just leave early tomorrow morning. It'll still be breezy tomorrow, but not this windy. And the other thing was we just want to prepare for the possibility of power outages. Some down power lines, down tree limbs will absolutely be possible as we head into tomorrow. Then we have a significant severe weather outbreak to our east, which is a great reminder also, as we mentioned, is to make sure that we in our area have your severe weather plans in place. Start going over that, start rehearsing that, know what to do, because that's a sign eventually we'll get into severe weather season here, and we want to make sure we're prepared. And this is just a great reminder as to why, because it's going to get pretty nasty to our east. Now, we could get some strong, potentially severe storms, mainly east of I-49 as we head into tomorrow afternoon and evening, because we're going to be right at the cusp of the beginning of that outbreak. So we'll see a few showers, maybe a few thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and early evening. They'll exit our area quickly, but they could become strong to severe quickly because they'll eventually be part of that bigger outbreak for us tomorrow. So here's what we're looking at. We have a low to elevated risk and barely clipping us, but nonetheless, we could see those storms get going and then intensify quickly, but again, also exit our area quickly as well. So just a heads up tomorrow, especially in our eastern counties. We've got low pressure right over us, so we've got a light north breeze on one side, a light southerly breeze on the other, so some 40s across Kansas and into Oklahoma, and then the other half of us mostly into the low to mid 50s. As we get our morning started, low to mid 50s to start, upper 60s near 70 by 11 o'clock this morning, ahead of our highs today, right about 80, and some low 80s out there, absolutely possible, if not likely. South winds around 5 to 10. Into the evening we go, clear skies initially, and again, maybe a cloud or two overnight, but nothing that should obscure your view of the eclipse, and back into the upper 50s and low 60s. We're talking our lows tonight are going to be about where our average highs should be for this time of year. Those south winds start picking up. So again, very breezy tomorrow, partly cloudy, maybe a few of those evening storms as that system gets going, mid 70s. Seasonably cool through the weekend, a few showers possible Saturday, still a bit breezy, warming up Monday and Tuesday, and then cool but decent for the second half of next week. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more after this.
Well, not all dogs that go to compete at the Iditarod make it. Now, some get hurt or dropped for other reasons. And when that happens, there's a team of people to take care of them while they wait to go home. Georgina Fernandez has the story.
As you can hear, these furry, four-legged athletes have a lot to say.
Look at that. On your eye boogies? Yeah?
You can think of this area like a gate at the airport, and these dogs are standby passengers awaiting a flight back to Anchorage. But this airport check-in comes complete with medical checks too.
Mandatory vet checks, make sure everyone's healthy, good to go.
You want another one? And something most other airport gates don't, a total spoiling of its customers. And we all know how much pups love their fish snacks.
Make them all fat and happy before they head on the airplane.
Volunteer dog handlers here are like pre-check flight attendants who make sure each dog is feeling and looking its best.
Look at this. Why is your coat all messed up?
And that extra special attention goes a long way.
They just need little lovin's and naps and snacks.
Includes ensuring these dogs get home happy.
They're out of the race. They're missing their companions as well. So, we really want to make sure that they're feeling comfortable.
And for volunteer Ramay Harris, naps are not just for the dogs.
And they knock out like that one over there, and you just throw an extra leaf of straw for you, and then you fall asleep with them.
A chance to rest together under the western Alaska sun on the banks of the Bering Sea as they wait for weather conditions and flight availability.
Great to see those incredible dogs being well taken care of as they await to go home. Stick around, we'll be right back. Well, solar backpacks are being distributed to unhoused residents in Santa Barbara, California. The backpacks come equipped with a phone charger, sleeping bag, adapter, and more. Doctors Without Walls are behind the project, and they're hoping to find members of the community who would benefit the most from this state-of-the-art backpack. The organization is currently distributing 35 backpacks. Well, you've been talking about it this morning. March's full moon is called the Worm Moon, and it's extra special because it will be a total lunar eclipse. The first in nearly 3 years to be visible across the U.S. Now tomorrow, March 14th, the moon will look like a striking red color. A total eclipse happens when the moon is full and aligns perfectly with the Earth and Sun. Now, unlike a total solar eclipse, this celestial event doesn't require special eyewear.
Of course, we've been talking about the lunar eclipse yesterday morning and, of course, this morning as well. We'll have information on it, break down that timing for you here in just a little bit. But wrap up your first hour of the KOAM Morning News with this. We'll have sunny skies, low to mid-50s to start, near 70 by 11. We're going to be close to record highs once again today, averaging about 80, but some low 80s absolutely possible. Winds be decent south at about 5 to 10. We'll see a few clouds overnight. Shouldn't be enough to obscure your view of the lunar eclipse, but there may be a few clouds tonight and very mild upper 50s, low 60s. That's where our average highs should be, by the way. South winds start to increase, though, gusting to 25. We've got high wind watches, fire weather watches, red flag warnings, all for tomorrow. Mid 70s, breezy. South winds gusting 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, maybe even upwards of 70 at times. So damaging wind gusts possible, if not likely. So we need to keep an eye on that. Some late evening thunderstorms ahead of a bigger event to our east. We may get a strong storm or two, but the worst of it stays east of us. A few showers possible Saturday, seasonably cool this weekend, a little warmer by Monday. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.